welcome back to my channel. And in this video, I'm going to go through all of my cruise essentials, things that I feel like just help organize your cabin and just make things a lot easier to navigate because those cruise cabins are tiny, and just some extra things that you may want to have with you on a cruise vacation versus other vacations. Of course, you don't absolutely need these things. These are just helpful things. So before I get started, I want to introduce myself. My name is Stacy, and I post travel, Disney, and my fitness journey every single week. So please consider subscribing to my channel, comment, and like this video so YouTube will send it out to other people and help me achieve my goal of 500 subscribers by the end of April. I am a NASM certified personal trainer and a Dream Vacations travel advisor. And of course, my information will be linked down below. Let's get into this video. All right, so I have a bunch of stuff in categories. I have some stuff here next to me that I can kind of show you what I'm talking about. If I don't have it like right here next to me, I'll have something on the screen and have some images. And of course, anything I can, I'll have linked down below so that you can shop any of the things that you want. And yeah, so starting with clothing. So I feel like cruise vacations are different because you end up wearing so much clothes. So oftentimes you're going to be at the pool. Unless you're not a pool goer, then you're probably never going to be at the pool. But for me, I like to spend as much time in the sun, at the pool, in my bathing suit as possible. So that's one basically outfit for every single day on the ship. And then there's going to be times where I want to just hang out in the lounges and the bars and other venues around the ship. So I'm going to need a daytime outfit. And then I absolutely love getting dressed up for dinner and wearing a nice dress because I don't wear dresses very much in real life. I don't really go anywhere in real life. I like to stay home most of the time, except for when I travel. So there's a third outfit. And then potentially, if I want to change out of that dress, I either choose a completely different outfit, a fourth outfit for the day, or I just go back to my daytime outfit I was wearing prior to that. And then some most cruise lines have themed events. So you got your themed outfit if you want to participate in dressing up and that kind of thing. So here are a couple of categories in clothing that I typically think about when I'm planning my outfits, which, side note, I will have an outfit planning video coming soon because I have a cruise planned and I'll have that video up in preparation for that trip. So subscribe so you don't miss any cruise content. The things I think about is weather appropriate clothing. So where are you going? If it's going to be warm, look at the actual weather forecast just to see if it's going to be rainy the whole time. You're not going to really want to be in shorts or even have an opportunity to wear your bathing suit. I took a cruise a few years ago and I think I went to the pool deck one time. It wasn't quite warm enough for my liking to sit out in the sun. It was a little chilly for me. So that I also didn't look at in detail prior to going on that trip. So that was a me thing. So definitely looking at forecast is a helpful tool to decide what your daytime outfits are going to look like and how many you might want. So yeah. And then of course, swimsuits and cover-ups. A lot of Pack With Me videos I watch, people have like one for every day, two for every day, just depending on the person. But for me, I recommend having at least two because if you are going to the pool every single day, or maybe having a beach day or something like that in one of the ports, your bathing suit may not dry that fast from like one day to the next. So having two bathing suits minimum is very helpful. So then you can have one dry for an entire day while you wear another one and just alternate between the two. So that way you don't have to put on a wet bathing suit. And then you want your nighttime wear if you are going to participate in dressing up a little bit more elegantly. Most cruise lines don't really enforce a true like formal ball gown situation or like a men's like tux or suit, but I still find it fun dressing up in dresses, even if it's just like a more casual style dress. I think it's fun. So there's like another category of clothing to think about. And then bring some type of sweater, especially something that might go with your dresses, because if you are maybe walking around on the pool deck, it might be a little bit windy in the evening time, you might want something to cover your shoulders. So maybe like a nice cardigan or something like that. And even on sea days or something like that, you might actually still want a sweatshirt or something. So yeah, bring some type of sweater. All right, so my next category is sun protection. So for a lot of us, your cruise might be one time a year or a few times a year that you're in the sun way more than you are in your everyday life. So you want to make sure that you are protected. And a lot of cruise lines really want you to bring reef safe sunscreen. However, there is no true reef safe sunscreen, but there's a list of certain brands that are better than others. I'll put some type of list of brands here, but typically you want to look for more of like a mineral sunscreen and then kind of look at what it's packaged in, because sometimes microplastics might get into the ocean and affect reefs. And a lot of the reefs around like the Caribbean are kind of dying. So we want to help protect them with whatever type of sun protection we can. And I know it's not possible to fully be like, I need sunscreen. Like, I need sunscreen. So I'm going to pick the best option from there. So I'm not going to bring like copper tone or something like that. I will bring a little bit better, probably Sunbum. I love Sunbum. But also, if you're not wanting to like worry about sunscreen, you can wear UPF rated clothing that will definitely help you not get sunburned. And a lot of the times UPF clothing is lightweight, so you're not going to really notice if you have a long sleeve shirt on that dries fast, that kind of thing. So it's entirely personal preference, but definitely recommend looking into a more reef safe option, even if there isn't a true 100% reef safe sunscreen. Another couple of things on the same category of sun protection, you want something like a sun hat. I have a clip in, so it's not sitting quite right. I actually made this hat, so I'm pretty actually proud of how it turned out. A sun hat, so it covers your face and maybe your shoulders a little bit so that you don't have to use as much sunscreen or whatever. I love that hat. Proud of how that turned out. And then, of course, sunglasses. I suggest bringing like a cheaper pair of sunglasses, or one from TJ Maxx or Amazon or Target or whatever your choice of place may be, so that there's no possibility of losing your nice pair. Like I have some Ray-Bans, I have some Oakleys that I'm going to leave home and just bring a cheaper pair of sunglasses instead. All right, so next category is cabin organization. So you want some type of hanging toiletry bag. I don't have mine here, but it's also a really old one that I've used for years and years that you probably can't even get anyway. So I'll put an option on the screen. Oftentimes there's like hooks in the bathroom. You can hang your toiletry bag and it's just ready to go, out of the way. You don't have to worry about having to cover the counters in all of your products, and you just have it hanging up so that you're able to just grab the things, use it, and then maybe put it back. That kind of thing. It keeps your teeny tiny cruise bathroom organized. Next is these magnet hooks. I haven't actually opened this yet to put, like, you can see that the hooks are here and then they go on here. So the cruise cabin walls are metal, so the magnets will stick to it. These ones are fairly small. You can find some that are rated for heavier objects. So if you want to hang a backpack or a hoodie or something on the hooks on the walls, I'm probably just going to hang like hats and maybe my crossbody bag, that kind of thing, on these hooks instead of like bigger bulky items. So I didn't feel the need to have something. A lot of people also like maybe magnet clips, so that if you do enjoy the paper cruise compass, you can hang that up. Or if you have physical tickets to your shore excursions, you can clip it next to your room key lanyard thing as well, so that you don't forget it. Or there's so many different applications. I like to bring extra hangers. I just bring ones that I have at home, because the ones I have are these like velvety ones, and they don't take a lot of space in my suitcase, so I'm not too worried if about like the bulkiness of them. However, you can buy some that are packable, foldable, and a little bit more compact. And if you really didn't want to bring any, you can ask your room steward when you are able to access your cabin to bring you some more. I personally like to unpack the second I get my suitcase, so I don't necessarily want to wait to see if there happens to be any extra hangers available. So I just don't even worry about it. I just bring my own. And then outlets in cruise cabins are very scarce. So you want some type of multi-plug that's non-surge protection. So let me show you what I have. Well, first, this is a cord organizer. And while we're on the same subject of like charging devices and things like that, I have a multi-device charger. So like this will charge my iPhone and then my Apple Watch all in one little thing. And it's just a USB-C and it's just one plug for two devices. So that can be handy, as well as some type of multi-plug device. So this has USB-Cs and USBs, and supposedly some of these are fast charging ports. I don't know, but yeah, so I have actually two of those because the majority of the things that I have to plug in need to plug in via USB anyway. And also Royal Caribbean specifically only allows those types of multi-plug outlets. They're multi-USB, not multi-plug. So I just have those on hand. So whenever we do go on a Royal Caribbean cruise in the future, I've none planned, but maybe someday soon, I have those and not have to worry about buying something different. But I'll put like a picture of a different type of multi-plug outlet in case you do need to plug in more things than just USB devices. And then, yeah, so that's all of the like cruise cabin organization type things. Actually, I have one more in that category, packing cubes. So not only do packing cubes help you to organize your clothes when you pack, but you can take those packing cubes out of your suitcase. Say you pack one full of like, undergarments. You can put it in a drawer and just kind of, grab out of that or on a shelf if there's very little drawer space. Some cruise cabins don't have a lot of drawers, but they do have shelving in the closet area. So you can still kind of keep your stuff organized and just grab and go and whatever else. And also a bonus tip that I forgot to write down, a laundry hamper of some kind. I just have like a fairly large mesh bag that folds up really nicely. Some people like the pop-up hamper situation, especially with kids. I can see that being very handy, but I like that we can just toss all of our dirty clothes in the clothes bag and then shove that in the suitcase however it might fit, and then just toss the whole thing in the washer when we get home. And yeah, keep our dirty stuff separate from our clean stuff. And that will also help me decide if I overpacked, which I typically do for a cruise, but that's okay. Okay, moving on to over-the-counter medications, because cruise ships do offer those tiny small travel size that you might find at a gas station, but they're expensive and you never know what you might need. So here's a list of different medications that I typically bring, but you may be different, your needs are different, so definitely tailor your first aid kit and medications list to your needs and maybe your family needs. So one thing I like to bring is cold medicine. I got sick on our last cruise and I didn't have any cold medicine with us and it sucked. Luckily it was towards the end, so it wasn't that bad. So not a big deal. An immunity booster like Emergency, they have, their traditional little fizzy packets that you put in water and just drink. But now they have these packets, they're smaller, that you just take the powder and just kind of eat it as is, which I think is pretty cool. It's an easier way because I don't like the effervescent drinks. I don't enjoy them. I don't think they taste great, but that's a personal preference for me. Or Airborne has their gummies. I think Emergency even has a gummy version as well. All it is, a ton of vitamins and vitamin C and other things that your body may need to just, increase that immunity to colds and illness from there. So I suggest also start taking those vitamins and things a few weeks or whatever prior to sail date, and then through the cruise, wash your hands throughout the entirety of the cruise so that you don't get sick while you're on vacation, because it sucks. from experience. Next is some kind of seasick, motion sickness medication like Dramamine or Bonine. Some people find that the pressure point wristbands like C-bands work great for them. My husband gets seasick, so he definitely needs Dramamine and Bonine. Actually, I don't know if he needs them both or just one of them, because on our last cruise he just took all of it because he wanted to enjoy the trip naturally. You can also get those patches that go behind your ear from your doctor, that kind of thing. And then Tums or some kind of antacid, because you're going to be eating a lot of different foods, trying new things. You never know how your body might react. So that way you can enjoy your trip. Some type of stomach meds, like Pepto-Bismol I get the pill form because the liquid is gross, which is supposed to be like, every stomach ailment thing. But if you want to go a little deeper, you can bring like, a anti-diarrheal and anti-nausea, constipation, individual types, depending on your situation, if you are prone to having those types of stomach related issues when you're eating new foods you're not used to. So definitely choose medications that work best for yourself and your family. And then a couple of other medications like electrolyte packets. I really like Alimenti, and Liquid IV is always a good option. I like Alimenti, or even Buff Chick has their version as well. And it's just electrolytes with potassium, sodium, and magnesium, because you're on a cruise, you're probably drinking more than normal, you're in the sun more than normal. Let's replenish those electrolytes. So I drink electrolytes every single day in my everyday life, so I will be bringing them just because it's part of my everyday life anyway. I like to bring those things with me on a cruise as well, on vacation. And then of course bring any necessary medications that you need anyway. Check the cruise line to make sure you don't need it in its prescription bottles or whatever you may be. I typically just pack all of my vitamins in a daily pill organizer, and I've been fine, but definitely double check to make sure that certain medications don't need to be in its original packaging. Moving on to a first aid kit, here's a couple of things that I tend to kind of leave stocked up in my travel first aid kit that I bring on any trip, including a cruise. Band-Aids, anti-itch cream, a Neosporin type triple antibiotic ointment, gauze, bug spray if you happen to be doing a excursion that is like hiking in the woody area, you might want bug spray, hand sanitizer, and I also bring hand soap with, and I'm not sure why I put it in this category, but a lot of cruise lines just have, this tiny little bar of hand soap in the bathroom. I like the liquid hand soap, so bringing hand soap is definitely helpful. And then also there's hand washing stations all over the ship, so make sure you're washing your hands before you enter the buffet, all of the things, so that you can help prevent the spread of illness and you don't get sick. So on to the next category. It's literally miscellaneous things that I didn't really have any other category for. I could probably recategorize, but here's all the rest. Reusable water bottle. You can bring whatever you want, honestly. Most cruise ships have refill stations and water fountains throughout the ship. Older ones may not have them unless maybe that ship has gone through a dry dock or something like that, but you can get water anywhere, and maybe a small amount on some ships. But I know on our upcoming cruise, the ship has refill stations. The Disney Cruise Line, I think all of their ships have refill stations. Technically, your bathroom tap is drinkable. It's safe. You can drink it from there, but definitely bring a water bottle so that you can stay hydrated. And also, if you bring an insulated tumbler or water bottle, your water's going to stay cold longer. And for me, that definitely outweighs the bulkiness of bringing my metal water bottle. But I also drink a lot of water every day as it is, so that's a given. The water bottle comes with me everywhere. Two kind of related things. You want a lanyard, because your cruise card is your everything on the ship. It's your basically identification. It's your room key. It's your form of payment. It's everything. You can't get off the ship without it. You can't get on the ship without it. So you want to keep it safe and keep it with you. So a lot of people opt for a lanyard. I'm not a huge fan of lanyards. So what I do like is some type of crossbody bag. I like this one. I just got it, and it's got a pocket here, a pocket in the back, these two pockets, got a little key leash as it is, so I can hook, even if I did use a lanyard, I can connect it to this and then easily just, here's my lanyard or here's my card. And yeah, so some type of crossbody bag like that is also another option to like having a lanyard. So really anything that helps keep your your room card with you. Some people will get like a wallet that's like MagSafe and put it on the back of their phone. I like my pop socket, so I don't want to opt for something like that. Some type of dry bag. So if your bathing suit's still wet from your beach day, you can put it in there. You're not carrying around your beach bag with a wet bathing suit, or say your bathing suit's still wet and it's your last day of the cruise and you're packing up, getting ready to leave. You don't want everything else to be all wet. You can put that in your dry bag so that it's separate from everything else. I think that's helpful. And then a beach bag, which I have this really massive one that I made, and I'm pretty proud of how it turned out. So pretty excited to use that, and it's with like the same color scheme as the hat I made as well. So yeah, it's pretty massive. And yeah, it's the first time I did anything with a zipper with crochet, so it's not quite how I wanted it, but it works. And I know how to do what I need to do next time. So some type of beach bag or backpack or something along those lines is definitely helpful. And then of course we've got luggage tags. So most cruise lines have you print out your luggage tags that show like where your bags need to go. When you drop them off at the port, they'll deliver them to your stateroom when the staterooms are ready to be accessed. Because if you didn't know, cruise lines typically debark the last cruise guests, and the room stewards quickly turn over the room for the next set as you are getting ready to embark on the ship. So having these plastic luggage tags are helpful, especially when they're paper luggage tags that you print out at home, so that you don't have to worry about tape or stapling them or anything like that. It just has these like wire that you put around your luggage to keep the luggage tag safe and secure to your luggage, so that you don't lose your luggage, or it lessens the chances of losing your luggage. And then on that same note, a lot of people use air tags. I got these tile devices because my husband has an Android, I have an iPhone, and I wanted something universal so that I didn't have to solely keep track of one kind. Or if he goes on a trip by himself, he has an option for himself. And I was looking at potentially doing like the Samsung version of the AirTag, but reviews weren't great compared to AirTags. But these specifically were ones that I think will work out a lot better than opting for those other options that I was looking for. This will be a good happy medium for the two of us. And then you want some type of carry-on. I like this backpack. It's got quite a few pockets. I like that it has a pocket here. I can like put my passport in there. And then it has like side pockets. I can put my water bottle in there. It's just so much space because, like I mentioned, when you arrive to the port, you're going to be dropping off your bags to the porters. They're going to be loading them on the ship for you and are delivering them to your room later. But you might want some things with you. Sometimes it might take a little while for your bags to get to you. Majority of the time, they arrive before dinner, but in the unlikely event that they do, maybe you want to pack an outfit, maybe you want your swimsuit with you, but you didn't want to wear it all day. That way you have an option to be able to change if you need to. Or maybe you need medications with you, whatever it may be. That way you have something with you on embarkation day. And then a lot of cruise lines are getting rid of regular straws, which totally makes sense, as they should, because they're not great for the environment. I like these telescoping middle ones, and they come in a cool little carrying case. You can hook on to maybe your water bottle or something. And it also comes with a little cleaning brush as well, so that you can reuse it and make sure it stays clean as well throughout your trip. And the pack I got came in a pack of 4, and they all each have their own little brush. Well, that sucked. Another thing is lip balm that has SPF in it. I have these 2 packs, mostly because I couldn't decide what I wanted. So I went with 2 different ones. They both have SPF 30. One is Sun Bum, one is Burt's Bees. You don't realize how quickly your lips can get sunburned until they're sunburned. So having lip balm with SPF is essential. Next, I have a travel jewelry organizer. So this one has a place for rings and other jewelry, and then earrings. And then this comes down, and there's a spot here for necklaces. And then I have a couple bracelets I just kind of set on top. And yeah, it's pretty compact and zips up nicely. And then some type of water shoe, because a lot of the beaches are sandy and rocky. I mean, obviously they're sandy, they're beaches, but they could be rocky. And that way your feet are a little bit more protected, and like a rubber sole, that kind of thing helps, instead of just going completely barefoot on the beach, so that you don't run into any injuries while you're on your cruise, because who wants to deal with an injury on a cruise, you know? Okay, next is towel bands. So I have this pack of however many it was, where you just put this on your beach chair, and when you're at sea, it tends to be very windy, because not only is the ship moving, causing wind, like there's wind, so you don't want your towel to run away. It also helps to like identify, oh yeah, that's my spot, because you know where your towel bands are. And then of course some type of sandal. I got these for pretty much to wear with all of my evening wear. I might have a couple different options, not sure. I will figure that out in my outfit planning video, so stay tuned for that. And then of course we have reusable toiletry bottles for, like, I'm going to use shampoo, conditioner, lotion, or shampoo, conditioner, body wash, lotion. And what I'm going to do is take them out, fill them up, put them in my hanging toiletry bag, and then reuse this for something else. And then of course some like smaller spray bottles, which I'm going to use for skincare stuff, so I don't have to bring big bottles of my stuff. And same goes for this, more skincare stuff. These are airless pump bottles, which is so cool. Like, how does it work without like not having a straw? I think it's a pretty cool product. And I like using these for like moisturizer and face wash. And then a luggage scale is helpful, not only to start off, weigh your luggage and make sure that it's not overweight before you go. You can kind of have an idea of what your luggage already weighs. If you don't want to pay for overweight luggage fees, you can bring a luggage scale with you to make sure that any souvenirs you buy don't put your bags over that, whatever your airline's limit is. And then a couple fun things. A cruise magnet. I have these ones that my husband and I brought on our last cruise. We went on the Disney Wonder, and it's fun to put them on your door, your cabin door. Not only does it help you identify your door in a hallway of doors that all look the same, it's just a fun thing. So what mostly me, my husband doesn't really care, but what I like to do is so like this was our first cruise together, his first cruise ever. And then I have ones that I made, which I'm not going to show too closely. I have the video coming for this itinerary, but I made some magnets for this cruise. So every single cruise, I want to have a new magnet And then my entire door is just going to be a compilation of magnets from all the various cruises I've been on. So yeah. And then another fun thing that is unique to cruising is bringing ducks. So I got these little tiny ducks that I'm just going to put a small little card on, say happy vacation, whatever, and put my socials on it and my travel website, and people can use it or they don't, but they get a fun little duck from it. So another thing is snorkel gear. If you're taking a snorkel excursion, you can rent snorkel gear, but I don't know how sanitary that is. So we have our own. We may not use it every single time, but it will be nice to have on hand for when we do want to use it. All right, so that is everything. Like I said, this is a list of the things that I find most helpful to bring on a cruise, but it's not all necessary. Like, you don't need to bring ducks if you don't want to participate in that. You basically you hide them around the ship, and mostly kids, but people love finding the cruise ducks around the ship. Sometimes some people will bring some like fun dressed ducks. They look like, cowboys or vampires or whatever it may be. It's a cool little fun thing. I just thought I'd participate with these little ones as a way to advertise, but they can look at it or not. I don't really care. Some of these things are definitely helpful for organization in your cruise cabin and could make a big difference in your overall experience. And I will definitely have everything that I can linked down below. Pretty much anything that I showed you, except for maybe like the bag that I made and the hat I made. And if you're wanting to work with me as a travel advisor, I can definitely help you plan your next vacation, your next cruise, or Disney parks vacation. And I'll have my information linked down below so that you can check that out. And as always, my services are completely free for you. I just help you do all the hard work, booking the vacation, making dining reservations, all of those good things. And yeah, so I'll have all that information linked down below. And this is gonna conclude this video. If you've made it this far, please consider subscribing to my channel. I post travel, Disney, and my fitness journey every single week. So please like and comment on this video so that YouTube will send my video out to more people and help me achieve my goal of 500 subscribers by the end of April, which is like a month and a half away. So please help me get there. And every single month I send out a monthly newsletter with travel promotions and other information to help you plan your best vacation, as well as some fitness tips here and there. I do also have some free PDFs available when you do sign up for that newsletter. Currently, I have a travel planning guide, and whenever I add new PDFs available for my newsletter subscribers, I will send out a separate email to let you know that those are available, and I'll have that information linked down below as well. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.